Good afternoon, everyone. Country Flyboy here, and today, back in American Truck Simulator. Got some cargo to get. We gotta get a tank of gas, I think? I can't remember. What are we picking up exactly? I don't know. We'll find out when we get there, but first, we actually have to go to the shop and get our truck. So I stopped in for a quick bite to eat. We're gonna be driving into the night on this one. Sun's going down here in our home base of LA. So here we are in our personal vehicle. We're gonna go ahead and start the engine up. Can't really hear it, but it is running. Nice, quiet, modern cars, huh? Manual transmission. I think it's like a Subaru or something. That's what it's supposed to be. Anywho, brakes are overly sensitive on it. We don't need to pick up any gas, so the first thing we gotta do is go pick up our truck at the shop. And once we get there, we'll pick the truck up and then we'll head on out, see what we're carrying. Talk to the dispatcher. See you in a bit. Alright, our shop's down here at the end of the road. Well, not quite to the end. Almost. Alright, we'll just we'll park right over here out the way. Go in, talk to the dispatcher, see what we got, and we'll pick our truck up. We'll be ready to go. Remember to lock the door so nobody messes with my ride. Alrighty. Let's head on in. Alright, we have selected our job. We're going to be taking a digger, I believe, over to Arizona. And there's been a few changes since the update. With that added Arizona, also added a few other things. The truck I was driving was no longer compatible with some of the special features they added. I need to check and see if it's been updated. It's probably been updated by now. But we had to get a different truck, and we're back in the classic. Yeah, I did miss this truck, and it's had some upgrades. It has had some upgrades since I drove this truck in Euro Truck Sim. I mean, I gave it the same lighting configuration that I had for the most part in the truck. Gave it the spoiler wing there. But now we got a hauling ass on the front. Didn't give it a bumper, just gave it a bottom bit. And, yep, we're going to go pick our digger up. We don't have a droppable axle on this truck, sadly, like we did in Euro Truck Sim. The interior is different now, too. The guy who designed the truck, there's so much you can do with this truck now. It's unreal. Like, you can change everything about the exterior and the interior now, including, like, what colors you want the interior to be, gauge back color, all that fun stuff. But enough gawking. Let's go pick that load up. And listen to that sound. Brakes off. Put her in low. Turn our lights on, and we'll go ahead and pull out of here. Got a full tank of gas. Say goodbye to the dispatcher woman. And try not to hit our invisible car that we parked there. Or she could assign a key to control the opening and closing of those doors. Alright, nobody's coming on this side or that side. Speed transmission and a 455 horsepower engine in this truck. She has got power. Looks like we're going to be heading down towards Santa Monica for this pickup. So the update added a lot of cool things. where the hell are we picking it up at? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I added a mod that hides the obvious indication that makes it bleeding obvious where your trailer is. Now, to know where my trailer is, I gotta look for the cones there. So what we're gonna do... Oh, look at how much the light... This thing just lights up the back. I love that. I can clearly see everywhere I'm going when I'm backing this truck up. Get a look at the lighting on it. There's one right there in the middle and two long-range reverse lights on top. Alright, let's pull out here in low. Look at all the lights on this truck. It really lights the night up. Now the update added a thing that caused me to switch to this truck over the Freightliner that I was in. And the reason is, let me bring up my cheater mirror here. Oh, that's a small cheater mirror. What it added was more realistic hitching of the trailer. So I actually have to back this truck up now and get that kingpin on the trailer right smack in the fifth wheel of this truck. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's also not the easiest thing in the world either. And once I do, I actually then have to raise the trailer legs. Not the best lineup in the world. It's not 100% straight, but I think it should still be on there. A little off. Okay, it's actually hitched in now. So the kingpin fell down into the fifth wheel like it should. Now we have to actually raise the trailer legs, which I believe are hydraulic on a trailer like this. Yep. Or pneumatic, one or the other. Don't need the cheater mirror anymore. Man, those are small. Let's look at the manifest. Let's see, a Digger 500, 16,500 pounds, heading to Sierra Vista, head to a Bitman down there. We're expected in 27 hours. The calculated route will take 14 hours to do, so we don't want to exceed 26 hours on this trip. Let's take I-8. I know it's a bit of a longer way around, but I've taken I-10 plenty of times. Let's actually take I-8 around this time. That way. I think that'll be more interesting. We'll head through El Centro, Yuma, and the bottom half of the map before heading on to Tucson, however it's pronounced. And then down to our destination, which is, looks like road work, actually. Anyway, that sounds good to me. I'll keep an eye on the time of this video. Might make it a two-parter. In fact, we'll probably will make it a two-parter. Is there a rest area? We'll stop at these scales here, and that's where we will stop the first half. Alright, let's get going. This, don't need that no more. Put it in low, turn the brake off. Let's pull her on out as straight as possible before we turn, since this is a lowboy trailer. Alright, we're clear on that side. Take it nice and slow pulling out of here with a trailer like this. You know, for what is, I'm assuming a company that handles a lot of construction jobs, this Bitman company, their lots are always tiny. Well, most of the time. They do have one lot that's actually pretty big. Straight here. We got room, so we're just coming out straight here. Alright, we're hanging left. Don't see anyone coming that direction. Or that direction. did drag one with us. That's what that bump was. I thought we did. Alright. Gotta get out of Los Angeles and then we'll be on the road again. Looks like one of the lifeguard vehicles, doesn't it? Alright, nobody's coming because that road is closed. You know, since they're going to be making the map bigger in American Truck Sim in the future, it might be it's going to be pretty neat because we might see some of these road construction zones and closed road areas. I'm actually going to go straight through here. I'm not going to turn. Might actually not be closed anymore after the big map update whenever that comes out. That would be interesting because that'd be the first game I've ever seen where the construction zones actually weren't permanent in the map. Looks like we're getting caught by this red light. We'll try launching off one low here, see if that can get us out. Go, Vane. What are you doing? Okay, so we might have to launch out of low-high. Go through the densely populated area of the city. With a loud truck, just wake everybody up. Well, what time is it? 11:37. And in Los Angeles, they're still awake at 11 in the morning, 11 at night, so I don't think we'll be hurting anybody. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines took place partially in or pretty much entirely in Los Angeles, but the first part was in Santa Monica. It always had this neat. My favorite part of that game is after the haunted hotel, when you get to the end of it and you're sort of looking out towards the ocean. I always thought that was a really neat part of that game. You can see everything because you don't normally get to see those parts of the map in that game. There's a few areas you can go to. Stay in your lane, bus. Alright, let's try low-high here. See if that gets us out a little faster. Yeah, okay, so launch out low-high. Looks like we can skip gears in this one, too. We'll try low-low next time. You can skip gears, but keep it in the low gears. Might accelerate a little faster. Come on, don't make me come to a complete stop, buddy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to break this video up into a two-parter because it's already taken a while. The timer on the video is already reading close to a half an hour. Man, he just insta-stopped, didn't he? Now, granted, I'm going to be cutting a lot of that, because a lot of it was just me driving around, but still, already a half an hour into this and hadn't even left LA. I think for my next video, we might drive that car around. We might go on a little American Truck Sim road trip. How's that sound? I need to do a video on the multiplayer. I did a live stream on the multiplayer once. I really don't have a lot to talk about. This is one reason why I'm always hesitant to do American Truck Sim videos, is because a lot of nothing that I have to fill out with talking, and it's kind of hard to find stuff to talk about. gonna be midnight before we even leave the city, isn't it? Yeah, it's 11:47. Ah, I forgot I had a clock down there on the RPM gauge. Man, have you noticed I'm pulling through the red lights right as they're turning red? This truck takes forever to get going, doesn't it? That and those red lights don't last very long, do they? I really wish the speed limit on it. This is a four-lane highway. The speed limit should be 45 through here, not 30. So, anyone who's watched my channel knows I'm a big fan of anime. Yeah, we're probably going to end up talking about anime because it's been on my mind lately with the new Idolmaster game coming out. I'm a big fan of Idolmaster, though I'm a really shitty fan of Idolmaster because I haven't really played any of the Idolmaster games. Though in my defense, that's because Namco doesn't make an English version and I don't speak Japanese. And I'm real excited to see the new Idolmaster game coming out, Idolmaster Platinum Stars. It looks fantastic. Core fan base tends to have a few worries, some of the people I know who are even bigger nerds than I am. But for the most part, yeah, it looks pretty good. I just wish I could play it. For one, I don't have a PS4. Yeah, I just don't want to spend the money on one because here lately I've been in sort of a rut. I've been kind of burnt out on games, of having a hard time getting excited about anything. Anyone who watched Jimmy the Stash's video when I went to the E3 thing with him, I was sort of acting excited. I mean, I fell into the hype just like everybody else with E3, but it's kind of, but when you really calm down from that and you realize a lot of it's BS, you kind of get burnt out on this stuff. I'm just finding a hard time getting excited about games because it's like, that's more money I'm going to have to spend for something I'm not going to be using for very long because I'm going to play it and then it's either going to be a game that I think is good enough to keep or I'm going to take it to GameStop. And you really can't even take it back with digital games these days, so it just ends up taking up space on my Steam library. I really would love the ability to gift games to people when you're done. Both on Steam and on console, that would be nice. I think PlayStation actually has something like that though, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and get in this lane. Know that one's ending. Yeah, I just jaked it. What of it? I know you're not supposed to jake at night, especially in the cities, but... Oh, we're not turning here. Anywho, a little excited for the Idolmaster game coming out. I mean, looks fantastic. I really want to play it, but I'm probably not going to. I know there's not going to be an English version because Namco is notorious. I think they hate the Western. I think they hate their Western fans of that series. They do not throw us a bone, do they? So not only can I not speak Japanese, and I tried to learn, but I really quickly gave up on it. Not because I couldn't do it. I was doing it just fine. It was just like really quickly realized that there's no point in me learning it. I'm never going to use it. It's just because I don't know anybody. One of the main things that can help you learn it is if you know people who speak Japanese and you can talk to them in the language, and it's a lot easier to learn it then. I don't know anyone who speaks Japanese. I live in the world's shittiest small town. There's nobody here who speaks any other language except English and Spanish. That's the only two languages here. So it's like, and I'm never going to get to go to Japan. I mean, I would love to go to Japan, but God knows I'm never going to get to go there, so what's the point? I have no reason why I'm speeding. This is not Arizona yet. Stay below 55. Which is sad. I don't even get to really bring my truck out, do I? yeah, so I kind of gave up on learning Japanese. So, I mean, the main reason I wanted to learn it was so I can play the Idolmaster games, but, I mean, Christ, there was no point. It really quickly became very obvious I was only kidding myself, so I kind of gave up on that endeavor. So, unless they make an English version, which is never going to happen, I'm just never going to play Idolmaster, I guess. I'll just have to enjoy the animes. Which is sad, because I really want to get into that series. Oh well, life goes on. What else in the anime world? I finished watching Death Note. That was an awesome series. Let's talk my my top 5 favorite animes to watch. I sort of got a little list of top 5. Now my top 5 is constantly changing, but let's go into each one and why I like it. The number 1 anime on my list is Maria the Virgin Witch. Don't let the title scare you. That anime is so damn good. And by anime, hereafter we're going to refer to them as just shows, because in my brain, I don't really make the distinction between regular television and anime. It's just all the same to me. Maria the Virgin Witch is free to watch on YouTube, by the way, if you don't mind watching it in Japanese subbed with Japanese audio. I mean, English sub with Japanese audio, not... Yeah, I fucked that up, didn't I? Well. Anyway, it's on YouTube, free to watch. It's from Funimation. Very, very good. Highly recommended. That show... Let's just say I came to that show because I had heard that it was an anime that actually had realistic combat. California Highway Patrol Karen Vic there. There's a train off in the distance. There's another one in a Charger that time. Old GM. I came into that anime because I heard it actually had realistic fighting and weapons, which it does. Like, the animators and artists in that show did a fantastic job keeping to realism in that one. Not only are all the weapons properly drawn, the characters actually use the weapons properly, and that is always nice to see, because way too many shows go with the crazy over-the-top action with backflips and all that jazz. And I've always thought that's too easy. We'll lay on this car to go. I've always thought that's just way too easy. Okay, he's turning. So I really appreciate it when a show takes the higher ground and actually does the more challenging realism. And they did a very good job. I mean, I'm not a martial artist by any stretch of the mind. I do know a thing or two about sword fighting, though. Let's give this guy some space. And they actually did it properly. Like, no one took any unnecessary risks. They even have half sorting and the murder stroke in there. Oh, it was so good. It was such a nice change of pace to see from the irregular, over-the-top, crazy action stuff. Do we need to zigzag through the city here? No, it'll be easier if we just turn the next right. Can we make it? Yep, we're going anyway if it turns yellow, so... And I started watching Maria the Virgin Witch for the animations I had heard about. I stayed for the characters and story. That show was amazing in characters and story. I honestly cannot find a fault with it. It's that darn good. And what little gripes I have about it, I mean, everything else is just so darn good, I don't care. Like, it has fan service in it, and I'm normally not a big fan of fan service. But man, the show is just so good, and the fan service it does have makes sense in the show's context. In the context of the situation and the theme of the show, it makes sense for the fan service it did have. And I like it when shows do that. I don't like fan service just for the sake of fan service like a shit ton of animes do. It's annoying to me. Come on, dude, give it some gas. So, yeah, definitely. I don't want to talk too much about that one because it's just so good. I really think you should go into it spoiler free, know as little about it as possible. But it's very good, definitely. It has the Country Flyboy seal of approval. Go watch this one, don't miss it. Anywho, what else is on the list? What's number 2? Fate Zero is number 2. Fate Zero, my absolute favorite anime of the Fate series. It's the prequel to Fate Stay Night and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. And it came out because I think it came out after Unlimited Blade Works. It definitely came out after Stay Night. And the thing is, it's the prequel, and it's a lot like the Star Wars prequels in the way that we know the ending, but we know nothing about the journey to the ending. And that's where the similarities with the Star Wars prequels end, because Fate Zero is so freaking good. It doesn't have the full realism in the animations like Maria the Virgin Witch had, but you can definitely tell that it's stuck firmly grounded in reality. It didn't do anything crazy. I mean, I'm saying that there is a guy who surfs on an F-15 in that anime. He's literally riding the F-15 like a surfboard, which was awesome. But other than that, the fighting was actually kept pretty good. It was firmly grounded in reality and still did action stuff, but it didn't go over the top crazy. It worked in with the theme of the show very well, I think. It's another reason it's one of my favorites, and it sort of blows a stereotype of anime out the water. It's like all the animes, it's always teenagers doing stuff. Teenagers doing stuff that they have no business even knowing about if it was reality. And if that irks you in any way, watch Fate Zero, because I think there's only one teenage character. There may be two, depending on how old Caster's master is in that show. I think he's in his late teens, early 20s, something like that. I can't remember, but there's one teenager in the show who is sort of a lead character, but he is primarily the projection character. We're supposed to project onto this character, and he's not annoying. He's not annoying in any way, shape, or form. Don't worry. But everyone else in that show, all the other main characters, they are not teenagers. They are adults, all of them. I'm going for it. No, I did not feel like stopping for that light. All of them are adults. And it's really good. Fighting's good. The music is... I mean, there's really only 2 songs in the soundtrack that stand out, but the music's not terrible. Anyway, moving up from Fate Zero, we have a twofer. We have Gunslinger Girl, which was my favorite anime for a long time until seeing Maria the Virgin Witch and Fate Zero, and those two toppled it. But Gunslinger Girl is definitely one of my favorites. Alright, looks like we're coming up to the rest stop where I was going to call it on the first half of this video. Remember, that rest stop looks like just a wait station, so we'll hold off on the throttle here and start slowing down. They want us to turn in anyway. I like they give you a lot more warning on those now. Anyway, we'll pick up the list of Country Flyboy's favorite anime once we start part 2. I'll be recording it immediately after this one, even though it'll probably be sometime between release. Alright, let's just, are we on it? Yep, okay. The pop-ups don't, they let you turn the pop-ups off now. Alright, so that's gonna do it on this video. We'll just park over here real quick, and we'll pretend that the officers inside wanted to see the manifest before they sent me on my way. For some reason, it should be pretty obvious what I'm carrying. But we'll just pull it on in here. We'll use the Porta-John while we're here, since I see it sitting there. Alright, let's just set the brake, put it in neutral, and we'll pick this up in the next part, so see you then.